Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since you had the privilege of hearing my beautiful voice yap for about 10 minutes, so I decided that it was finally time to address that, and what a better way to do that than to finally make the video about the third line, which some haters thought I wouldn't be able to do.
They didn't believe in us. God did.
So how about that? Our story starts in the late 80s in Soviet Georgia. The metro has proven quite successful in moving a large volume of people around the city, so the government started drawing up different plans on how to develop the system further. You should already know about some of these from my previous video. After messing around enough, the final choice was made. The first section of the line was supposed to go from Rustaveli to Vazisubani. It would later be extended to Diromi and Moscow Avenue, with transfer stations being constructed at Rustaveli, Varketili, Technical University, and Didube. The 14 planned stations of the third line would help relieve pressure on ground-based transportation methods such as buses, trams, and trolleybuses, as well as the first line. And weirdly enough, they actually began construction. By the year 2000, 5 stations were supposed to be opened. These were Rustaveli, Saarbrücken Square, Lower Elia, Upper Elia, and Vazisubani. Additionally, a connecting tunnel between Samasiaraguli and Upper Elia was to be constructed. There was progress up until the 90s. With the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 and civil unrest in Georgia continuing into the decade, no one had time or money to continue the funding of big infrastructure projects. This led to the termination of construction works in 1993. Naturally, a question arises. How far did they get? 300 meters of tunnel were dug out at Rustaveli. 150 meters were dug out between Rustaveli and Saarbrücken Square. Only a part of the escalator tunnel was dug out at Saarbrücken Square itself. The works on the tunnels to Lower Elia never even started. 200 meters of tunnel were prepared at Lower Elia. The shaft down to the tunnels at Upper Elia only reached 20 meters in depth. At Upper Elia station itself, only a few meters were bored. The section with most progress is this one. In total, 300 meters of tunnels and 150 meters of shafts were constructed. At the end of the line, Vazisubani station began being constructed with the Tbilisi single-vaulted technology, similar to Tbilisi, Technical University, Varketili, Guramishvili, and Rmageli stations. The escalator tunnel was 10 meters short from completion. Talk about edging. Oh, what happened to these structures? Well, Rustaveli is preserved as far as I know. Saarbrücken Square and its tunnels were sealed off because the land was sold. Hotel Moxie is now located there.
I hate that fucking place so much, please demolish it.
Lower Elia was actually preserved up until the mid-2000s when they stopped pumping the water out, causing the entire structure to flood. The same fate was met by the tunnels between the Elia stations. Vazisubani station is still being preserved, but the escalator tunnel here is flooded as well. Land purchases have made the continuation of the construction far more difficult, and the government doesn't even seem to care. They still think that building BRT systems across the city is gonna be enough to make the public transportation system less crowded. No. Just no. For one thing, Diromi is still a shithole that you can't go through without dying while waiting in a traffic jam. Vark still doesn't have normal transit because the buses either pile up at stops or are crowded, and people living in Elia or Vazisubani have to use the first line, and I would like to see anyone from the government doing that on a hot summer's day. I dare you, you pricks. Oh wait, you don't have to do that because you steal money and ride around in luxury vehicles. Was that too much? Okay, listen. Improving bus transport is of course very important, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate it very much, but the fact of the matter is, buses are not able to fill the demand. And honestly, they're still shit, but our mayor seems to bust a nut every time he sees one.
Get it? Because bus.
Looking at the current system, the diagram is very different to what was planned in Soviet cities. The third line being missing can be counted as a reason for this, as it helps create the so-called triangle layout seen in Kiev, Kharkiv, Tashkent, and other places. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any design sketches or blueprints for the stations, however, we know what types of stations they would be. Vazisubani, as I already mentioned, was going to be a Tbilisi single-vault style station. Same goes for the Elia stations. Saarbrücken Square and Brustaveli stations were supposed to be deep column stations like Nazaldevi, for example, and apparently a sketch of Upper Elia station in the deep column style also exists. After the construction of the first section, the construction of the line would continue from Diromi to Didube. This meant that the line would be split in half for a while, leading to the inclusion of a depot at the right embankment of Gware, although it might have just been a connecting line to the Gdani depot. A depot was supposed to be built in the Africa settlement as well. But I doubt any of it is ever going to get built. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's been 5 years since the ceiling in Vargetili fell down and it's still not fixed. Even if they ever begin the works again, it's going to take them 300 years to get it done. In the meantime, we can be proud of what we have. The 2 lines and 23 stations we can use are quite a lot more than a lot of other cities.
I'm looking at you, Yerevan.
And even though progress is slow and decisions questionable, it all still works, which, to me, is a miracle. Hello again, post-production Givy here. This year I was quite busy with life and didn't notice how my channel reached 200 subscribers. So thanks.
Also, new Kisuzu, please.